Let's talk Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. We haven't had a chance to do that. We were MIA all last week when that news broke. Tom Brady headed to Tampa Bay, 2-year contract, $50 million guaranteed, didn't offer the Patriots a chance to counter or even really engage with him. Tom Brady wanted out of here. Marcellus, my take is after 20 years, this is the typical split that happens in a father-son relationship. And that's what Belichick and Brady had, a father-son football relationship. And eventually the child grows up and the boy wants to be a full-blown man, and he starts bucking against his father, age 18, 19, 20 years old. And there's a split. Happened with me and my father. I was in the wrong. I'm wondering if you think anyone is at fault here in the Brady-Belichick split, Tom Brady leaving New England to go to Tampa Bay.
Yes, somebody definitely is at fault right here. I don't think this is a typical family relationship. I don't think this is a typical family father-son split because the father should show the son much more love than we've seen Tom Brady receive from Bill Belichick in terms of adoration and appreciation. So I hope I'm not raising my son this way, but that point to the side, I think there is someone at fault. And it's not Bill Belichick, because Bill Belichick did what Bill Belichick does, which is I'm going to assess you cold-hearted in a manner that is strictly about production and what I see in you going forward. I think that even Tom Brady, who went 20 years deprived of the full love and the respect that he deserved with his production and his GOAT status, said enough was enough, let alone enough is enough. But it's actually Robert Kraft. Bob Kraft sits here trying to keep his hands clean in a situation where he has full control if he really wants to rectify it. So as we saw Tom Brady say, hey, man, something that is well done is better than well said. Bob Kraft is on a campaign of full-page ads and putting up billboards and sending out Hallmark cards of how much he loves Tom Brady and how great he is. You mean how great he was? Because this is the same Bob Kraft that interrupted the Jimmy G trade in offering Tom Brady. Bill Belichick was trying. Bob Kraft said, no. Tom Brady stays. He didn't do that this time for a reason, because he, like everyone else, realized that Tom Brady's better days are behind him.
Listen, I'm going to disagree with you about the father-son relationship part, because it all depends on what type of father you have. Some people have fathers who they're constantly trying to please and they can't please them. Listen, a mother gives you unconditional love. A father's love a lot of times comes with a lot of conditions. And I think for good reason. I think that's the proper relationship. I think a lot of times when raising a son, between a mother and a mother's going to love you up and a father's going to correct all your mistakes. And you're going to feel like, hey, man, this dude's always on my back, but he's actually always looking out for my best interest. And he's trying to protect me and trying to guide me in a way. And again, the reason I say that's because me and my father had this relationship. And I know some other guys that have had relationships like this with their father. And so Belichick, to me, I don't think he's in the wrong here. And I blame Tom Brady like I blame myself, because there was a time when, me and my father were at war when I was a young adult. And again, I go back to like Tom Brady and this Alex Guerrero situation. And I don't want to compare it, but there is some compare. My father didn't like some of my friends. He didn't want me to associate with some guys that he felt were going a different direction than I and what the culture he had tried to create for me. And so I think when I look at Alex Guerrero and the TB12 and how they had the disputes about how involved Guerrero should be, how involved Tom Brady's culture that he was trying to bring to New England, how much influence Belichick wanted that to have over what they had already created. I see a lot of father-son dynamics, and I think, just like me, after about 5-6 years down the road, after me and my dad had a major blow-up, 5-6 years down the road, I was like, damn, he was right. And I should have listened to him. I would have been better served bowing to his wisdom, his experience, his years. But again, I just think this is the typical curve between a father and son. And I think as it relates to football, Tom Brady had the most demanding father in the history of the NFL, and this split was inevitable. And I think at the end of the day, Tom Brady's going to say, you know what? I should have stuck it out there. Yes, this guy is a butthole. Yes, he's hard to please. But my God, look at what all we accomplished. He made me and helped me become the greatest quarterback and perhaps the greatest athlete in team sports history. Maybe I shouldn't have left.
And look, that's the crux of the problem right there. No wonder our generation's so messed up. We have fathers like that. Just you could never please them fully, could never totally get their full love and respect. I don't think that's always what was necessary for someone to be incentivized and to be fully motivated. But in this situation, it's interesting that in 2017, there were talks of trading Tom Brady. So using Belichick against himself, that was premature because Tom Brady went to 2 Super Bowls and won one. At the same time, Bill Belichick thinks that Tom Brady needs to be shipped elsewhere. Thankfully, at that time, Bob Kraft was the voice of reason and stepped in with his full power that he had then and that he has now. So if you're Tom Brady, look, if your father's that demanding, let me show you, father, that I can leave this nest and that you have helped and support and raise me to GOAT status. But I'm an adult GOAT now. And it's time for me to go out there and show you that I can divorce our reputation of Belichick made Tom Brady. Tom Brady has to sit there in quiet times and think about, hey, I did a lot of this myself, the decision-making, the poise and problem times, just the throws, the accuracy. A lot of that is not Belichick. A lot of that is Tom Brady between the white lines doing his job. So all that said, they both can be correct, but they both have to be on a mission to prove that the other was wrong.
And my only problem with Tom Brady is timing. I think he's waited too long to fully go out and prove his point. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. There's a lot of weapons down in Tampa Bay. I think Bruce Arians is a hell of a coach. I'm excited for Brady and Byron Leftwich to work together. Maybe he'll be proved me wrong. But I just think at 42, 20 years in, it's almost like to go out and prove that point that you can do it without Belichick and that system and that comfort you have in New England. Wow. To 42, look, man, you've recently been there. I remember going into my 40s, and I know Tom lives a completely different lifestyle and does all the things to take care of his body, but I just don't see him able to prove that point. And the way he clearly, and this is why people were adamant that he was leaving New England, because they knew Tom Brady wanted out. I think the Patriots and even Bill Belichick at the right price still wanted Tom Brady to be there. But like a lot of fathers, oh, you want to go prove me wrong? You want to prove that my 60, 50 years of wisdom, that your 20 years of wisdom trumps mine? Have at it. And we'll rally back up a few years from now and see who's right or wrong. And I tend to think Belichick's going to be proven right.
Look, as the old adage goes, the days are long, but the years are short. And the reason I think that applies here is because you can say Tom Brady by his birth certificate, 42 years old. You can say by years played in the NFL, 20 years. And to Tom Brady, that feels a lot shorter than it sounds. But you know what doesn't feel short? Those long, dreary days with a coach who is riding you, and it's not even appropriate. Someone who steals the joy of all the success and fun that you have of just working on your craft and building to these championships. Someone who robs you of those moments starts to look like an outsider more than someone who's fully fueling and supporting you through this process. And Tom Brady has to feel like, all right, Belichick, you only had 2 winning seasons without me. So let's not act like Cleveland was a success where you lost 5 of your 6 seasons there. Let's see what you're up to. And I think this is just going to be a match, a championship grudge match of who looks better without the other. So this is the classic breakup. at high school before the prom. And they both gonna show up, and they both gonna have dates, and they both gonna say, look, I'm doing better without you. And I think that's what we're all gonna take witness to in 2020 in the season, is who looks better without the other.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.